Opera. It's one of the most ambitious art forms, a marriage of music, drama, and staging. My journey into creating an opera was nothing short of transformative. I'm Trevor Sproul, a second-year undergrad student studying vocal performance and composition, and today I want to share how my passion for storytelling and music came together to create my first micro-opera. First, I want to talk about someone. Few figures in the history of music have been as influential or as controversial as Richard Wagner. Born in Leipzig, Germany in 1813, Wagner was a composer, conductor, and librettist, best known for his groundbreaking operas and his revolutionary ideas about art and music. Wagner's early works reflected the styles of his time, but as his career progressed, he envisioned something far greater, a complete transformation of the operatic experience. This vision gave birth to his concept of Gesamtkunstwerk, which translates to total work of art. Wagner believed that opera should be more than just a showcase for singers and instrumentalists. It should be a complete synthesis of all art forms: music, drama, poetry, visual art, and even architecture. Every great composition starts with preparation. And for me, that means immersing myself in as much music as possible. I treat it like expanding a personal musical vocabulary. I listen to composers such as Fauré, Mahler, and Chopin on repeat, dissecting different harmonies and tonal language. This phase isn't just about passive listening. It's about letting the music accumulate in my mind like a palette of colors I could later mix and apply. Once I've absorbed enough music, the second stage is what I call regurgitation. The music I've been listening to becomes raw material, musical vocabulary that I reinterpret to fit my vision. For example, I took themes from Fauré's Requiem and molded them into motifs that fit the emotional arc of my characters. Opera isn't just music, it's storytelling. I spent a significant amount of time developing the story and characters. Drawing from my own personal experiences and stories that I've heard, I created a narrative that felt personal yet universal. During this time, I read poetry by Wilfred Owen and T.S. Eliot, which inspired the libretto. These writers capture raw emotion, a quality I wanted to reflect in my characters. The fourth stage is when the real composing begins. I don't start with sketches like some composers do. Instead, I work organically. I hear the next part in my head as I write it. Sometimes I transcribe pieces that inspire me, like Fauré's Requiem, and then I manipulate them until they fit the themes I imagine for my characters. It's an intuitive process, but it's also very meticulous. Every line, every harmony, every texture has to serve a story. Once the music is written, I move on to refining. This is where I fix airs, expand ideas, and create vivid descriptions of how the staging should reflect the music. One example from the opera is in the closing scene, where the main character is seen on bended knee holding his father's lifeless hand, sobbing. We are left to wonder what will happen to him. The ending should be reminiscent of a Caravaggio painting, raw, dramatic, and unapologetically intense. A spotlight on the grim reality of human experience. Throughout this opera, I draw inspiration from artists like Caravaggio. His work confronts you with the brutality of violence, the vulnerability of emotion, and the weight of mortality, making no effort to beautify or soften the truth. I also use literary works such as The Telltale Heart. These references help bring the music to life visually. Composing an opera is a deeply personal journey. It's not just about the music. It's about telling a story, connecting with people, and creating something that resonates emotionally. This project taught me the value of persistence, intuition, and vulnerability. As I continue my journey as a composer, I hope to inspire others to explore their own creative potential.